Yes, hello everyone. My name is Ezekiel Kuhoga, and I am the main facilitator of the so-called Talent Mindset. This is a coaching program which has the main motive of helping the internationals here in Finland to find a good way to utilize their talents and skills to the extent of having a positive contribution to the society. And of course, this will be our third session today. Yes, should be our third session. Previously, we had my brother Christopher Mukuye, and he was sharing, different insights from an eye of I would say three persons. The first person is an immigrant, but the second person is the business owner, but the third person as an employer. So he shared a lot of sites which I think they were fantastic to the international talents, and if you listen and pay attention, it may yield to you increasing your value and actually even getting more visibility here in Finland. And not just in Finland, even if you are living in some other country, Tanzania, Kenya, or any other country, you should still be able to benefit from the insights which are shared through the whole program, yes. And today, as I have announced in the social media, I wanted to discuss about the power of events in growing your network. And I shared on the video which I distributed in the social media that one of the biggest challenges that we have as internationals in Finland is the lack of network. Actually, this is the worldwide problem. Many people, they have a networking problem. They don't have good networks. And when I say networks, one time I differentiated. When I say network, I don't just mean all the people you just know. You may know 100 people, but they are all like you. They don't know anything. They cannot take you anywhere. They are not your networks. But a network is somebody who is likely to share an opportunity to you, who is likely to add value to you, who is likely to recommend you to some opportunity or some place somewhere else. Those are the people I can refer to as the network. So this is the worldwide problem, but it's increasingly large when you are foreign to a strange place. For instance, for me or many other international students who are coming to Finland, you are very new here. You don't have friends, you don't have parents, you don't have your relatives here. It's just you most of the time. Maybe if you come with your family. Yes, but most of the time you come here, you don't know anybody in the employment industry. You don't know nobody in the academic industry. You don't know nobody anywhere. So you have to start to grow your network casually. And if you are, if you're joining through Teams right now, I have to do a presentation, and later on I will switch back to Teams so that we can have direct conversation, because at the moment there's no one here yet who has managed to come here physically. Again, we the internationals, we are struggling a lot when it comes to time. It doesn't matter from which country, especially from African countries. We are still struggling so much with time. Yeah, I had some people registering that they wanted to come here, but most of the time they would come maybe half an hour or something like that. So yeah. So if you join through Teams right now, after this presentation, then I will switch back to Teams, and then we can have an active participation. Yes. So So the point is that having this difficultness in establishing a network, it makes it very hard for us to secure jobs. It makes it very hard for us to have that normal life. Imagine, have you ever questioned yourself, why do people go crazy when they are locked up in jails, and especially in a jail where they cannot meet with other people? Why do people go crazy? Well, they go crazy because meeting with other people helps to maintain your mental health. If you are just alone, every day, then you may probably end up, losing that mental health that you're supposed to have. So that's another of the disadvantages that you may have, following the isolation. Yes, but now understanding the importance of networking, and one of the importance which I've mentioned in a couple of videos, I mentioned that, for example, when looking for a job, over 80% of jobs that are being, are being advertised, they are available through networking. They say that these are the jobs which, they can be published on the website, but it is not truly public. Somebody had already secured that position. 80% of jobs, they have been going through that situation. Only less than 20% of the jobs, they may be truly public that you can apply and compete with other applicants and eventually maybe get a job if you are lucky enough. But 80% of the jobs that you see announced nowadays, they already have been secured by some people. So that's one of the advantages of networking. And this is natural. It's natural because recruiting process is costly. Recruiting process is hard, it's difficult. You cannot, as a recruiter or as an employer, you cannot sit down and go through 100 or 200 applications and you're supposed to pick somebody within a week or 2 weeks. It's very hard. It's very hard. They may try to come up with sweet words to tell you, but the truth is it's very hard, and most of the time they avoid that. That's why you don't always get the response on your applications that you have just sent. Why? Because no one has gone through your application. They will just make a call. Please, do you know somebody? Do you know somebody? Who do you think maybe can fit this position? If somebody says yes, then they take him. Otherwise, if they couldn't find anybody fit for that position through the closed network, then they may try to go through the applications, and they will only pick a few. They will only pick a few. So it doesn't matter how great your CV is. It doesn't matter how great your cover letter was. If your application is not reached, then how good it is. How good it is. Yes, so that is why today's topic is very much important. It's so much important to pay attention to. Yeah, because it will help you to be among those who are paid attention to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, so that was just a short introduction. So I will switch to the presentation so that I can continue to do the presentation, and I will do this presentation I think for about maybe 30 to 40 minutes. After that, if there will be any person here physically or online, then we may continue to have the discussion to and from. Yes, so let's go forward. Yes, I have lost the audio now. I think I should be back. Yes, now I should be back. I hope you are able to hear me. Yes, I'm the engineer. I'm the presenter and also I'm engineer. So I'm multitasking. Yes, and if something goes wrong, then I have to pause and fix it. Yes, so I was explaining about that statement. I don't know from which point you are hearing me, but the statement says, one way to become great is to act what other great people do. And this applies also to what I'm about to present you today. In this context, that at some point, you have to sit down and ask yourself, how do the big organizations, big companies such as Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Apple, how do they do in order to get customers? Because you yourself at some point, you might need customers. You yourself at some point, you need to sell something. How do these big companies manage to sell their products and services so that you can try to imitate the process and use it in your business? How do they do that? That's the essence of this letter, that one way to become great is to act what other great people do. Now, I want to give you my own story. How have I experienced the events? What made me say that events are the great tools in increasing your network? It's because I already have a story, which is what I want to share with you. When I just moved to Finland, actually, I'm already sharing the story since the time when I moved to Finland. So I had life before coming to Finland, but I will only share from the time I moved to Finland to this moment. So when I came to Finland, I went straight to one city called Joensuu, and in that city, that's the city which I did my studies. I took a master's degree in photonics or physics, if you have no idea what photonics is. And there was an association of African students. And this association, it used to be called African Student Association, ASA, University of Finland. And I succeeded to become the president for 1 year. I was the president of the association for 1 year. And during my presidency, I succeeded to organize up to 4 events. So there was one event which is very popular. I will show you the pictures after this presentation. So there was one event which was very popular. It was done 1 year called African Cultural Night. But there was another event which I also organized. This was the African-Chinese relationship. So we started to have some relationship with the Chinese community in Joensuu. But also I succeeded organizing an African Union event. But also we had another event which we received an ambassador from Namibia. He came all the way from Helsinki to come and see the students in Joensuu. And then from Joensuu, I moved to many other cities. I went to Vantaa and Helsinki, and eventually I landed in Mikkeli. In Mikkeli, I succeeded to establish a community for the internationals, which I called Mikkeli International Community. And in this community, of course, there was a lot of activities, but we didn't have a lot of events. I only did one event. And what I really enjoyed about this event is that it gave me access to many other big events which were organized in the city. I would just use this Mikkeli International Community platform to introduce myself, and then I would say, please, you can have a stand in our event. So I was being given a stand, which I would go there and test my material. So I was being highly privileged, yes, by just being engaged in this Mikkeli International Community. But also, I got access and time to big person, I would say, in office. For example, there was one secretary who is the secretary of the Union of Universities. I think he's a big man. I don't know if you understand me. Yes. So he's kind of a big man, and we succeeded to have a discussion several times, very long, and after I eventually invited him to one of the events which after to one event which I organized. So here are some pictures of the events which I have participated or organized myself. So, for example, this image which you see here is the African Cultural Night. I think this was year 2018. Year 2018, I had already finished my leadership term, but I was helping the leadership which followed after me. It was people were just walking through this runway. It was fantastic. Different display of cultural attires. As you can see, it was amazing. It was amazing. This is another event which I organize now, with cooperation from the Chinese community, which we're also living in Guangzhou. So we were really going towards somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. Unfortunately, I left, so I couldn't keep up with most of the stuff which I initiated. But it was really amazing. So in this event, we jointly prepared this event with the Chinese community. So we had African Association plus the Chinese community, and it was a fabulous event. So as you can see, they were performing some sort of song, and this was the president of the Chinese community by then. And then you can see the performance from our guy here. It was marvelous. And where I landed in Mikeri, I told you I succeeded in organizing one event, and this is the event, which I don't even remember what was the title. Yes, but in this event we had presentation from the main speaker, but also we had panel discussion and question and answers, and we had food. It was an incredible event. And as you can see, and when I moved to Kuopio, the first event I did was a kick-off meeting for the Kuopio talents. And so this is what we can see, and we have a team here of the people who came and assisted me at least in the first event. So it was really amazing. Now, before I discuss the benefits that we can get from the events, let me very shortly state few of the challenges that we as internationals in Finland are facing. Number one, I think, of course, I said this in the beginning, but I would like to restate again very briefly. Number one is the lack of network. I said, we are just new to this place. So you come to Finland or you come to any other foreign country, definitely you don't know nobody in the country. Maybe if you're lucky enough, you have been invited by family which has been living there. Maybe life can be easier for you, but most of the time, you come as a student. You don't know anybody there. Your only friends are those who are sharing the same class with you, if they are friendly enough. But number two, life in Finland has been forcing people to live an isolated life. And when I say that an isolated life is like maybe because of the weather, maybe because the winter is, I think, is the longest period in the year. So most of the time, because of the cold, people are being they close themselves behind the doors. Most of the time, people spend time inside of their rooms, and at the end of the day, we don't get connection to the local society. We don't get connected to the Finns who are natives to this country. But not only that, we are also not connected to fellow internationals. You don't have time to go and meet with the fellow internationals from other countries. So you don't have time to know each other. You don't have time to become familiar with each other to the extent that you may, share information and opportunities. No, we are not there yet. Of course, there are some people who are trying, but in the general sense, we are still so much behind. So there is so much isolation facing an international person who has just came to Finland. But number three is the lack of Finnish language skill. Of course, for me, in several videos, I somehow, try not to acknowledge this as a challenge. Because for me, actually, I will make another video to discuss about this language, why I don't think it's not such a big deal as it is being made to sound like. I will discuss it some other time, but for now, all I can tell is that, of course, it is being mentioned by employers, it is being mentioned by advisors, mentors, that understanding Finnish language is very crucial if you want to find a job in Finland. But I will discuss more some other time. So let's talk about the events. And this is what I wanted to share it with you today. If you recall in the video which I produced in the advertisement, I don't know if I already said this, but I said this. For a business, if a business is new, it has a brand which is unknown to the people in that area. And if it happens to have a very good leader, then they
and look and ask themselves, who is this guy? Who is this? What is this business? What are they doing? You understand what I'm saying? That is why we are having some businesses which would tend to use half-naked women. Why? Because they know, when you see a naked man or woman, always this thing would draw your attention. I don't know if it's just wired within our bodies, but it will draw your attention when you see somebody naked. And that is why they will try to do that. Because why? Because they want to create attention. Some other people, they will use, now there are some other people, they say they try to leverage through even this, I don't know, I've forgotten the proper word. But somebody can just come with false accusations. They will just do something stupid online, and just to make people start to discuss about them. So what are they doing? They're just creating attention. They want you to pay attention to them, whether for good or for bad. Some people just prioritize attention. You see, so that's number one. As a business with a known brand, your first strategy is to make sure that you come up with a way to create attention, to steal the spotlight, make people wonder, who is this guy? What is this business? What do they want? What are they doing? That's step number one. Step number two, you have to create an impression. Immediately after people have paid attention, they always give you about 3, I would say maybe to 5 or 6 seconds. That's why most of the sales experts, they will tell you that you always have you always have about 3 seconds to create the first impression that can make your customer, whoever that you want to sell to, sit and listen to you. You have to create very good impression within the first 3 seconds. That's why. So you have to find a way to make that impression, to make these people who pay you attention to keep on around, to stay around, to look at what you're doing. So that's strategy number 2. But strategy number 3 is a selling. I say it's a selling process. Now, after you have paid attention and then you were impressed enough to stay longer, then they have to find a way to create a desire to make you want to buy this product. So this, which is called selling, is a process from that stage to the end stage where they will eventually ask you either to buy something or to subscribe or something like that. And in the very same manner, you as a talent, the first equipment or the first weapon that you are supposed to use in order to sell yourself successfully is to find a way to create attention. You may be very much experienced, so much expert, but people can never find a way to know how good you are unless you have found a way to show them. It's like somebody selling something, all of the inventories locked behind the walls, and you hope somehow people will just know what you're selling inside. It doesn't go that way. You have to find a way to make people like, please look, see my product, see my talent. That is how you create attention. But number 2, you have to create an impression. When people have agreed and sat down to look at your product or to look at your talent, what kind of an impression do you give? What kind of an impression do you give? So that's number 2. But number 3 of the tools that you're supposed to use as a talent is contribution. How do you indicate to those people that your intention is not just to take their money, but to contribute towards their lives? How do you indicate it to them? But number 4, consistency. How consistency, now you can define this in 2 perspectives. One perspective is how much time do you give? How frequent do you show up? When people see you frequently, then they know you are always there and they can count on you when they need your service or product again. But number 2 way that you can demonstrate consistency is on sticking on one service. When people come to buy you shoes this time, when they come next week, but also, of course, it takes time as well. You just don't pop up, do your marketing very great, and expect people to show up. It needs time. They say this is a test of time. So it needs time, of course. Yes, but that's the thing. And okay, so I was discussing about selling. Okay, I was discussing about these events on how can we repeat this process. So you use an event to create impression because people, they get the content. And when people come to the events, this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your talent in a long time without somebody having to leave. We all understand how difficult it is if you just call somebody and want to demonstrate to them what you can do. Let's say you go to somebody's office and you want to demonstrate to them how much you can take pictures. So you have to start setting up, take pictures, show them how you edited. It doesn't work that way. But through the event, you are able to demonstrate one photo after another for 20 or even 30 minutes. And all the people will still be sitting down listening to your presentation. And that's the benefit of an event. But more than just that, an event is like it gives people it's like it magnifies the impression that you provide. I don't know how this works. I think it's some sort of subconscious effect. Some people, I think they will just try to accelerate the effect of your event in their own mind, and that's why they will try to find all the ways to expect the best from the event. And if you don't reach the best, they would deeply be disappointed that the event today was not as good as we expected. And this is supposed to be out of benefit because they give you a chance to impress them, and which is the next thing that actually I'm already discussing this, that through this event you have a window of impressing. And for me, I saw this through because at the events which I showed you today previously, I saw many people coming back to me, wanting to share with me their contacts, wanting to meet me afterwards. They wanted to initiate many projects with me. It was so much easy to connect with people whom I could never imagine connecting with them if I had not involved myself in the events management. So I would say, shortly, that's the biggest benefit that you can have by organizing an event. So what do we need in order to prepare or to succeed in managing the event? And let me define first, what do I mean when I say management of an event? Well, management of an event is simply an act from planning an event, starting communications to make sure that you organize the resources, to preparing for an event itself, hosting of an event itself, and making sure that everything goes as planned, to the after event. What do you do after the event, the survey and everything like that. So everything in that manner is included or can be defined as event management. And what you need as an event manager, number one, you need a team. And this team can start from one person, but you need communication. You need to be very, very good in communicating so that everything will go as expected. But also, you need to be very active in following things up. So you need to check with the calendars. You need to write down the appointments. You need to write down the task, to-do list, you see, so that you can be effective when following up. But also, you need to have equipment and operators where applicable. But last but not least, you need to have finances. And this also, it depends. It depends what size of an event you want to organize. And now speaking to the talents, because a large percent of international talents in Finland are students. As students, I would say you have so much opportunity, the opportunity which most of people have been overlooking. As a student, I think you have free access to the equipped facilities under the universities. Most of the universities, for example, here in Kuopio, we have Savonia University, we have University of Eastern Finland, Myself, I've succeeded to host an event at the University of Western Finland in the main lobby where they have the microphones, they have the big TV, and it's indoor. And I didn't pay for anything. I only had to ask for partnership to one of the organizations under the university, and through them I got free access to this place. And in asking them, they said students, they should be able to reserve these places free of charge. You don't have to pay for anything. And I'm saying this is the benefit because when you graduate, you're going to have to pay for this resource if you want to use it. So you also have access to other students. So you have your own local network at the school, which you can begin with, to involve them in your events. But also you have access to the staff. When staff, they see you do these things, not only they may come to be involved in your events, but they will start to know your skills, your capabilities, which they may use when organizing their own events. Okay, next. Okay, my mouse is not moving. Okay, now, so as Kuopio talents and talent mindset, so what are the future plans that we have? Number one, we are looking forward to organize the monthly event. So of course, maybe not in January, but probably from February, we might start to have events which we will organize every month. And so these events will be small events, maybe involving maybe a maximum of 20 people. And probably most of them, they might be outdoor, not through the meeting rooms such as this one, but we might meet, for example, for a barbecue somewhere. We can meet for a swimming during summer. We can meet for jogging and something like that. But also, these are the events which we can use in order to know each other more, especially those who are living in the city of Kuopio. But also looking forward to use these small events to visit the schools, to visit other institutions like hospitals, to visit the orphanages, something like that, in order to go and contribute something. So this is the nature of our monthly events. But also I'm expecting to have the quarterly events. In this quarterly events, so these are the events which we will do after every 3 months. So we can, for example, if we start counting from February, that means in May, is it after 3? Yes, after 3 months. So in May, we may have an event at the end of May. Again, we may have another event at the end of August. Again, we may have another event at the end of December. So those are the quarterly events. And in these events, the main motive would be to display the local talents. That means you have any sort of talent that you want to show to the people, you may use this platform to demonstrate it. But also presentations. We have some scientific people, in these universities. We need to hear their presentations. What are they discovering? What are they learning? Something like that. So for them who are willing to show to the world, to the real world, not just to the academic world, about their progress in their scientific works, then this will be their platform. But also looking forward to have yearly events. In these yearly events, I'm expecting them to be very big events because I will try to involve a lot of agencies and companies which may sponsor us. But also we may try to extend invitations to celebrities and also other big people, for example, in the government officials, something like that. But still, this would be another platform where we can display the local talents. And when I say the local talents, I mean the talents from the city of Kuopio. So what do you need to do as a talent in connected to the future plan, which I've just mentioned before? Number one, you need to show interest through active participation. Yes, these things always work when you first decide it in your heart that you want to get involved. You don't have to be the one to be pushed around. I may push you around and you may come, but at the end of the day, you will definitely not have the results which you could have had if you had come with your own interest, with your own motive, something like that. So you have to develop the motive. by being very active in participation. But number two, you have to plan what you will use as a talent. This is about demonstrating your talent to other people. And you have to choose one. Most of us, we have so many talents, like myself. I'm a photographer, I'm a presenter, I'm a speaker, I'm a community developer. But when it comes to these events, I have to choose one talent which I might want to show to the world. So we speak again about the consistency. Choose one service that when people come back again and again, they will still see you do the same thing. And they will say, we can rely on this guy because he is doing this thing. But number three, help to spread the word. Help to spread the word. If you believe that what we want to do is good and it might help more internationals, then please join us a hand and help to spread the word to other individuals who may also participate and contribute more to the society. But also show up more regularly. Yes, most of the time I mentioned also this in one of the videos that the challenge is some people, they really see the value of what is happening. For example, even in my own case, I've met a lot of people who initially said, bro, what you're doing is really, really important, really great, and I want to come. Now, but the problem is I don't have time. I don't have a free time. So, which means that they are waiting to get a free time before they can come and join, the activity that I'm doing now. And I'm here to tell you that the life of a man is like water. It's like the level of a water. Very rarely it might happen that you just get a time which you don't do anything. But what happens is that if you stop doing one thing, something else will pop up. If you stop doing one thing, something else will pop up. That's why motivational speakers, they say, make sure you predetermine as early as possible and plan what do you want to do with your life. Because if you don't decide what to do with your life, something else will come and fill in that space. So always there will be something to do. If you don't decide what to do, then something will be decided by nature for you to do, and which may not be good for you. So you have to make sure that you set the time apart. You agree that, okay, because because this event or this community has this activity during this day, I will also decide to relieve this day of any commitments that I have, if you're flexible, and commit it to these activities. And all of other stuff will automatically fit in your other schedules. But also, number 5, you need to commit to excellency. Despite us, calling ourselves as, just students or something like that, most of the time this leads to people not being very serious. You try to demonstrate your talent, but in a way that people, they will know that this guy is not professional. That's why they will say, you are professional, you are a student. Why? Because the difference between you is that a professional would do his best to demonstrate his work as professional. But you as a student, you just do for the sake of presentation so that you may be seen like, okay, you are also into the field. But try to act as a professional, commit to excellency. But the last but not least, commit to impact. Set it in your mind. Make it your mindset, your perspective, that all of this that you're doing, you want to have a positive impact on someone's life. Starting from yourself, coming to the other international talents, coming to the society which surrounds us in all communities that there is. And I think that is all I wanted to present to you today. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope from today, maybe I will get some time to to come and discuss with you. Not just to discuss, but to sit down and plan what we can do, in order to make sure that this event start to happen here in the city of Kuopio, but in the future, maybe even outside of the city of Kuopio, because I believe it's possible. Most of the events which I've just shown you, I did it. Most of the part I would say myself. Of course, not myself as in making sure everything happens, but I was merely the only one who would follow up almost everything. But the good thing is, most of the people that I went to,
After they listened to me, they cooperated fully. They gave me access to resources which I should have paid before. Yes, and it was possible. So I really believe it is possible to start organizing this event. And the good thing is, no one demands language skill when you're looking for resources. Nobody demands the language skill when you're asking for a facility, even for the equipment. And today, I'm really thankful even to, of course, first of all, to Työnavigaattori office for giving me this space, but also to Mr. Yuho, I forget his last name now, this is very bad. What is his name? I have to check. What's your name? What's your name again? Yuso Hopponen. Yes, he has really helped me. That's why today you have a different way of presentation, because yesterday he set me down. He is an experienced videographer and video engineer. Yeah, so he set me down and instructed me how I should have connected my stuff, the lightings and stuff like that. And I did somehow as he instructed me yesterday. And the presentation looks marvelous, at least from my angle here. So I believe you have really enjoyed. So I'm really thankful for that. So, and my point was that to get support from that, it doesn't require a Finnish language skill, because somebody will always reach out once they have seen you trying your best to have a positive impact to the society. Yeah, so shortly, that was all. I will stop sharing now and check if there's anybody online. Well, I don't have anybody online, and I don't have anyone to ask me any question. I will also check on YouTube. I don't have any question on YouTube as well. So thank you once again for the time that you have paid to listen up to this very end. You can still ask any questions on the comments section in the social media page or even the YouTube page, and let us keep this conversation going on. And thank you. See you once again next week. Yes, see you. Bye-bye.